Addy Deal so far? She's obviously the one garnering a lot of garnering a lot of excitement as the season is about to start.
You know, she's Addie's really put together. She's doing great. You know, she's catches on really well. She's really skilled. She's got a great feel. You know, she's everything that we were hoping she would be, certainly, and hopefully a little more.
How do you manage, because obviously the outside world with her there's a lot of expectations for her coming in. How do you help her through kind of just dealing with that?
You know, Addie's kind of been on the spotlight for a few years, and so I think she manages it pretty well. And you know, we just kind of business as usual, right? It's just, especially now in the summer. Every now and then, you know, you guys are coming in as media, and there'll be some things written about her. But I think a lot of that management might happen as the season starts and as the freshmen play. Sometimes they're freshmen, right? And you're like, whoa, I thought, you know, you were coming in with all these accolades, and that's just kind of a normal progression. But Addie's got such a mature mindset. And typically kids, you know, coming in with McDonald's All-American type status do. But I've really liked how she's managed it so far. So we're not doing anything any differently. We're just, you know, trying to make sure, you know, she's learning right along the same pace as the other four newcomers.
Feels like you have a little more size than you usually do. I mean, with Ava, Layla, and Hannah, I mean, how are things working out there?
You know, that's one thing we didn't have last year, right? Because Ava Hayden is a slender, tall, but that was about it. Now we have Layla Hayes, who is, you know, 6'5", but real strong. And you have Hannah, who's a big but fluid. Ava's a tall, big, but fluid. But we also got size, even more importantly, in the guards with Emily Rodriguez. She's a big built guard. Tegan Mullaney, we're hoping for, you know, continued progression with her. Journey Houston has been looking really great. She's another, you know, solid guard. Last year we were, you know, Kylie and Taylor McCabe, which are great, but when you go up against big physical teams, you don't have a counter. This year we're a lot bigger across the board, with the exception of a little chit-chat right. You know, that's where we lost the height and the length that we've been used to. But overall, I'm really liking our size. I think that's going to give us a lot of different looks. You could play those couple of those bigs together, depending on the offensive tweak that I might put in a little bit later. So I'm really loving the fact that, especially, we're going to have a counter with Layla Hayes.
How's the transition been for Sydney, going from player to assistant coach?
You know, I think really well. You know, she hit the ground running, getting ready for basketball camps, getting ready for our golf outing, and helping getting ready for practice. You know, a lot of long hours. I always kind of equate coaching to the folks who become parents. You never quite know what a parent did or does until you become one. And I don't think you really know what coaches do until you become one. All the pre-work that's done before you get to a practice, right? And Sid is she's just been great. She just hopped in, and what I love about, you know, Sid is she understands the system already. So in some ways she can help Jazz Walker, our new coach, and Lysandra Barrett, you know, just with a general drill, because she knows how I want it set up for our offense, because she's run it for so many years.
She was such a leader just right out of the gate last year. I mean, is there somebody filling that role this year? So this gal over here to your right.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, Kylie and Taylor Strimlow, I think both of them have done a great job this summer. You know, because Hannah Stalkey hasn't been with us because she made that USA team, and we're thrilled about that. And you know, that in one way it's you know, kind of tough because we can't build that chemistry and that on-court presence with her as a starter. But on the positive, and we tend to look at the positive side always, is that these other people are getting a lot of opportunity to play and lead. And I think that Strimlow, she's kind of a born leader, and Kylie is doing a great job as that sixth-year senior.
Is Hannah playing the 4 with the USA basketball team?
Yeah.
That's got to be beneficial for you guys.
Yeah, it really is. You know, they have, you know, Audie Crooks, and they have another big kid from Texas, and an Oklahoma big with Beers. So she's definitely playing on the perimeter. So I'm really excited because she's getting that experience for us, but certainly for hopefully her tryouts in the WNBA, because she's got to be able to show that skill defensively and offensively. And I'm so proud of her because she was one of the few kids that had not made a USA team before or been invited to try out. So she was a little bit nervous about going because she's like, I said, well, we're going. We're going to get out of the comfort zone. And I go, just be you. And I heard from the coaches that were watching, and they just said that, you just could not put her on that team. So I was thrilled about that.
Have you heard from her since she made the team?
Oh,
and she
yeah.
talked about this?
Yeah, it was really fun. We found out we had basketball camp, and I found out, but then she FaceTimed Taylor, and we all happened to be together with the camp. So it was this big eruption, and Hannah's an easy crier for good ways. So she's like crying, and the team is all cheering. So that was a cool moment. And then, of course, texted, and we've FaceTimed her into our circle. So she's missed 3 practices, and I think we put her in her spot in our circle. Someone's holding the phone. And they flew to Chile yesterday. So today, it was about a 9-hour flight, but she was in our circle. They just gotten into the hotel. So, but she was a little homesick early, but just like missed everybody, not homesick, but like, you're kind of missing, camp. They used to think, oh, it's so hot, but I'm so tired, but she kind of missed being with the buddies. But we reminded her that, her opportunity to get a gold medal. We're all going to forgive her for missing that hot summer sweaty camp session.
Last year, Sydney stepped in, and she was kind of the vocal leader for the team right away. I said, who is that this year? And she really pointed to you, somebody who came in and has kind of natural leadership tendencies. Do you feel like you've seen that even just as a sophomore in yourself?
Definitely something I'm aiming for. Just being vocal is always something I've been good at, trying to keep the spirits high, lift everybody else up. I think that makes me energized too, is just when I'm yelling and cheering. So yeah, definitely something I think is a controllable in a player, and if I can be vocal on the good days and the bad days, that's something really good to bring to a team.
You just finished your freshman year. Any critiques of some of the freshmen so far from what you've seen? How's Addy Deal, Layla Hayes, how are they looking out there?
They've been killing it. I love all the freshmen. Everybody, it's always exciting getting new people on the team and just learning all about them on and off the court and really meshing. I think they're learning a lot. It's a lot to take in, and it reminded me of me as myself as freshmen, and I'm just telling them that, they're doing great. They've actually taken all the information, and I said better than I did when I was a freshman. I made a lot of mistakes, but it's all part of the process, and they're growing and learning every day.
Addy, of course, is such a big recruit. I mean, what have you seen out of her on the court in just these first few practices?
Just the eagerness to learn and to be a part of it. I think she's really invested already in our program, and she's ready to step in, to play, to take the shots, and just have a big role. I think she's going to be great here.
What's the challenge being a leader when you're only a second-year player?
I have yet to figure that out. I feel pretty confident in what I'm saying for the most part, and I guess just being able to balance myself as a player and keep learning and growing myself while also helping the new girls do the same.
Does it surprise you what she's been doing?
No. No, I mean, Kate, she always rises to the occasion. She, to this day, is like the best leader that I have ever played with, and just it's because of her ability to rise to the occasion and like her just ability to play and hoop and be competitive. But yeah, I'm really happy for her, and I'm not surprised.
See, I thought she'd go in and be a competitor, probably at the end of the bench, and then maybe by now she'd be on the coach staff or something like that.
Yeah.
And she probably will be at some point, but or whether it's here or somewhere else.
Yeah.
But, what about her basketball IQ?
Yeah.
And how does that compare to some of the players you played with and against?
Yeah, her IQ is really, really high. That's like what I said, like her leadership was just phenomenal, and I think the IQ had to go with that. She's just, and then just her vocalness, like she knew how to like communicate with all the different players, and I think that's what makes her so special, is just she knows each personnel and like how to make them feel good but also make them better. And so but a lot of that also comes from the IQ, and so all around just great.
Are you going for your doctorate now?
I could be. Yeah, I could be. So I got my undergrad, and then I did my master's this spring, got that, and then I would have ideally have loved to get my MBA, but there's a work experience aspect that they weren't really okay with pushing aside, even though I wish I could be doing the MBA. I think it'd be a really good opportunity. But anyways, I'm just going to do a double major back to management in the Tippy College of Business. So it'll be still a really good combo with my marketing degree and everything. So it's still a really cool opportunity, and I'm excited for it. So.
How many times you got to go to Chicago?
She definitely likes the face.
Oh,
Some people
how many times did I go to Chicago? I'd say like,
so we're just really working on that consistency.
probably like 5 to 7 times, and that wasn't always at guaranteed rate field. It would be like at like a place up the gym that's like up in the tower or whatever it is. So like different cool like events that they held, and those were all really cool. Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
What's changed for Kylie Feuerbach in this last year? I mean, are you stepping in more as, Sydney last year was really the leader that stepped in the absence of that senior class graduating. Are you seeing yourself kind of step into that role maybe this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think just being in the role that I am and being as old as I am and just with the wisdom that I have now, I think it's just inevitable to be in that position. I've been exposed to a lot. I've been in a lot of different positions, so I understand where all the newbies are coming into and the younger girls. So, yeah, definitely a role that I'm looking into.
You're a player who's been a teammate with a lot of great players over the years. I just want to hear about these first few days with Addy Deal, somebody who came in with a lot of hype. What have you seen out of her on the court as a player?
Yeah, she's very mature. She has a great IQ. She's all around just great player. She sees the floor really well. She's a great passer, great scorer. She can score at all 3 levels, which is really great. But yeah, her maturity is phenomenal. I mean, she's just very composed, and she's loud. She communicates really well, and she's vocal. So all around great player.
Coach mentioned Taylor also taking on a little bit of a leadership role. What have you seen from her in her second year?
Yeah, just the energy. I think she's just a natural leader. I said that earlier, but just her ability to just like get other girls to gravitate towards her, and yeah, she's just a really good communicator, and she has great energy, and yeah, natural leader.
Was that you? You were that, Taylor? Okay. Just tell me about that. I mean, if you're the one getting FaceTime, you must be close with Hannah, so tell me about that experience.
Hannah and I have lived together for like 3 years now.
Really?
We've known each other since we were probably 15.
Okay.
Hannah and I are very close. Hannah's my closest friend on the team for sure. Yeah, she's always been special to me. I feel like we've kind of taken care of each other since we've been here, which is really nice. We got a little family with her dog and my cat, so I knew I was going to be the one to have to call her, and I was going to call her no matter what, just because I knew how much of this meant to her, and I knew she was a little bit nervous going out there, but I knew she was going to kick butt, and just to see that, dream come true for her was so special.
Yeah. What was that emotion like for her, especially in that moment that she?
I think that she was just so like emotional because she didn't know that like we were supporting her that much, and she wasn't sure on like how much she really wanted to do it because she was nervous about what we would think about it, and we were like, no, like we are so happy for you, and just to hear that was like just so good for her. So yeah.
You're like one of the vets now on this team.
I am. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. Time flies.
I know. I feel like I just got here.
Genius, right?
What's that feel like?
It's kind of weird, truthfully. Sometimes I still have to use Google Maps around here, and I'm like, man. But it's nice that I really know our system at this point, and I try and get out and demonstrate every drill, and lead a little bit more by example. So it is nice, not having to worry about where things are at, and know what our game day schedule is going to look like, know what our practices are going to look like, things like that. So very thankful to be here all 4 years, and that's pretty special.
Do you take Addy Deal under your wing a little bit this year?
Yeah. No, we're still getting used to everybody, but I mean, Addy and Chit Chat are both in my position group, and Kinesis coming back off an injury, so she's kind of been like readapting to our position group, and it's us 3 or us 4 and Kylie, which has been a really fun group on our end, so that's been really good.
So you've maybe had one of the closer looks at Addy and what she brings to practice so far. What do you see out of her? Describe her as a player.
I think that she definitely works really hard, and she's really focusing on the little things, which is good to see.
How does that feel that Sid's your coach now?
Oh my gosh, so funny. It is kind of weird at times, but she really does a good job, and I don't think anybody knows our system and our program better than her, and definitely our culture. So she's still doing a great job leading from her new role, and she's going to be such a great addition to them. I'm so excited for her.
Have you kind of laughed, like from time to time, like right when you walked in?
A little bit. Well, she's got a whistle. She's got like a pink whistle on sometimes, and I'm like, that's not right. But I do. I mean, I'm always going to miss playing with her, but I know that she's going to be such a good addition to our staff. So it's great.
You guys have a little more size this year.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you guys on the team?
I do think that that's going to be a big advantage for us. If we want to stack up and play against teams like UCLA, I think we need a little bit more size. So I think that having Layla and Ava and Hannah all at the 5 is just throws 3 completely different looks at people, which is going to be really hard to guard.
I like have to second guess myself. You're going to be a senior this year, right?
Yeah.
It still doesn't seem
I know,
quite right,
I know,
but yeah,
I
especially
know,
you
it's
and Hannah are going to be
crazy.
seniors. What is maybe going to change about you, your role, or your personality? Maybe. I mean, do you feel more of a responsibility to step up as a leader, vocally, anything like that this year?
Yeah, I think that for the most part, I would say if I had to guess, like who our vocal captains are right now, it's probably Jada and Kylie, and me and Hannah are also leaders, and we don't need four voices talking over each other a lot of the times. So we do have a very special senior class, which I'm very thankful for, and I hope that each of us gets to shine in our own ways this year, and I know we will. So it'll be really fun.